Normally on Thursdays we do a talk through, that's what we're gonna do. But I thought we would do my year-end favorites, the roundup, the final roundup, everything that I have just fallen in love with this year and have used nonstop, and actually already had to buy multiples of it. So I think this will be a really fun video. I'm very excited. Let's get started. I also feel like this is going to be kind of easy because most of it is in this bag. So I'm gonna try to go down the line and the things that I used and repurchased. I'm gonna start with brows. I purchased three of these, and then I have an extra, so I have 4 total. The first one the brand did send to me, but after that I have just been purchasing them myself. So this is the Glossier Boy Brow Arch, and what makes this a little bit different is we've seen this shape, but we've never seen it this micro, this tiny. And for a pencil, now I'm going to show you the pen. We talked about the pen yesterday, totally different, but this is a pomade. So this lays down such a nice, not streaky, but also not harsh. Remember how delicate we had to be with ABH Dip Brow? I feel that this is the easiest version of that possible. Wear time's amazing. If I'm showing it, it's tried and true. I have this on right now. And the reason I wanted to show the pen yesterday was because that one is really, I do use that one obviously, but I'm being very selective. I don't want to add it here because this and this are what I've used the most of this year in terms of how I do my brows every single day. So this is just a personal preference. And then the pen, the one that I showed yesterday and will save, is just so fantastic if you do not have a lot of brow hair. But for me, this duo right here has just been everything that I want. So last year I was into a big fluffy brow. This year I've been more into a more sculpted, defined brow. And this gel, I mean, I'm on number 2, and you can see that I'm kind of running low here. The way that this manipulates the hair is on another level. I'm trying to go, because I work in process, so I'll always start with my brows, and then from there I would go to eyeshadow base. So for eyeshadow base, I'm going to try to put it all in one slide. There's 3 of them, but I'm going to talk about them. This right here, I love when I'm doing a look where I want my skin to peek through because it's completely transparent. Also, this with shimmers is just, it's magical. If I'm in a hurry, but I want a quick eyeshadow base, I'm going to grab this liquid eyeshadow from Armani. Not because the formula is spectacular. I don't want you to feel that you need to spend this much. The reason I use this one is because I cannot find one that matches my skin tone this perfectly. If you're close to my skin tone, I mean, just take a little gander at it because it's kind of a game changer. Also, shadow layers beautifully on top. But then if I'm doing my super full glam, this one has been with me. This is Clean Canvas. It has been my favorite for many, many years. This just does what it does, and it leaves a clean canvas. So there's my 3. I'm sorry there's 3, but they each give a different look. Now, there wasn't a particular eyeshadow palette that I just feel that I just used. I feel like eyeshadow palettes is something that I just use way too many. Okay, I'm just all over the place. I will give 2 honorable mentions to 2 brands there that had really fun color stories, something very out of the box. So I'm going to tag them. I love their eyeshadow palettes, but I like them both of the brands the same. So I don't really just want to give you and say this was my all-time favorite eyeshadow palette. I kind of never have that, but I do have faves in the category, but kind of 2 all over the place. Now I have an extra one of these. My other one's packed and I don't feel like digging it out. But I'm going to show you a palette that, this is a big deal. This is the palette that I used the most this year. And you're thinking, Rose, why are you opening a brand new one? First of all, like I said, the other one's packed and I love it so much I have a backup. I used the heck out of this palette this year. It has absolutely everything. I did an ad with them because they got tired of me tagging them. I was using it so daggum much. They were like, Rose, let's just do a video so we'll have a dedicated one. I would use these as my shimmer color as eyeshadow, blush. I even use these as eyeshadows, these to set. It is just a very well thought out palette. I just love it. It gets 2 slides. I love it so much. Y'all, I just use it for so many different things, and I just feel like it was more multi-purpose than any of the other palettes, because eyeshadow palettes are so much fun, but sometimes they can be a little bit more limiting. So it was fun to have a palette that did eyeshadow, face, everything. And that's why it's my favorite. Now this is my backup. I'm going to put it away. I mean, what more do I say? I'm a broken record. I have never seen this type of makeup meets skincare that actually works the way that this does. If you have redness that you want to tone down, I have not seen anything quite like this. I love everything about this. I bought this a couple months ago. Again, these poor brands, they are literally sick of me tagging them at this point. But it is just, it's exceptional for what it is. Obviously, if you don't have or deal with any kind of redness, this is something you'll skip. I do love just about everything from the brand. I think they're a very well curated quality brand. But this in particular is something that absolutely stole the show this year for me. And if you haven't tried it, and you have to, you don't need it if you don't have redness, but if you do, this wins every single year. I say it, if I exist, this is on my lips. I have it on right now. The strawberry is my favorite, but they have so many different scents, and I love all of them. It's just about what flavor you like, what scent. I also love that they're not wildly over scented, and they just actually work. If you've been here for a while, you've noticed I've never had chapped lips. This is just a roundup. Don't feel like you need to go buy this, but if you are going to try something new, I don't think you'll dislike this. I can say that about a lot of things, but I'm pretty sure that we all like this. All right, so where are we at in the process? So we've color corrected, eyeshadow. Okay, mascara. Let's do some mascara. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with the one that I reach for the most. It's actually already in my travel bag. And it reminds me, right after this, I'm actually gonna go order a new one because it's time for a new one. It's this. Now, mascara is super personal. I don't want you to feel like you need to go buy this one. This one is great if your lashes are very straight and they won't hold curl. I love this. I've went into detail on why I like this formula. I like the wand. Everything about it lends itself to holding curl, but also giving definition. And it doesn't give a very intense faulty look. And that's one of the reasons it's in my travel bag. It's just really easy to apply, lasts, and keeps curl. Now after mascara, what do I normally do? Whew, this is tough. I'm sweating. I say that because it's tough, because I want to be very mindful. I'm really trying to think of the products that we used almost every single day. Ooh, okay. Lashes. This is something. I loved these lashes. These lashes. At first, that was not a partnership. And also, I want you to be mindful that every time that I use these, because we do have a partnership, it's almost over. But that being said, trust is number one here. And remember, I could have easily just not put ad, even in these daily stories, but I always have. So if you want to have peace of mind about what is actually an ad, you can always have that peace of mind here. I have no qualms about showing you what's an ad and what is not. So that being said, these, they stole the last show. Last show. I love them so much. I have not had gook in my eyelashes because these are self-adhesive, so you don't even need glue. The glue's built in. Game changer. These have been a game changer for me. Now where's my magical bag? What else I got? Ooh, okay, so we've done our eye makeup. Now we're gonna move on to foundation. So gotta be mindful. I gotta think about this for a second. One comes to mind immediately, but there were two different types of formulas. Actually, there were three because of the first part of the year. This one, and it's still one of my all-time favorites. It's been my fave for many, many, many years. It never lets me down. It's very consistent. This one actually has more coverage than the other ones that I'm going to show you. So that's why I think it's okay to show you three. So in fact, I'm going to actually leave this out and probably wear this today. I forget how much I like this one, especially when I want to be a little bit more coverage. This is just something that I've used for so many years. And if you've not tried it, this is your sign. It is delightful and it's usually on sale. They usually have really good sales. So 𝗕𝗿𝘂𝘁𝗄𝗏 Power Play. I don't know if you remember, but it used to be in a square bottle. Remember that? Loved it then. This is updated. Love it now. This is probably one of my ride or dies. Obviously, in my job, I try a lot of different foundations, but there's some that I always go back to, and this deserved a mention today. Okay, next up, the CoverGirl. I'm on empty. I literally think I have 2 more wears out of this. This surprised me. This was later in the year, and if you're wanting a light to light medium coverage, I loved this. I loved this for how much it was. I loved the bottle. I don't even mind it being plastic. It was so easy. And look, I use this almost every single day and it really didn't get that messy. I loved the shade. It's still a perfect shade for me. Wear time was fantastic. And again, if I'm mentioning something, it has been so wear tested that it's gone through different seasons now. So keep that in mind. And I would never just be like, oh yeah, I love this and didn't do a wear test. We don't do that. But yes, this is an 11 out of 10. It surprised me this year. I love it so much. Last but not least, a stick foundation. So there was the Dior foundation that came out. That had such limited shades. I had to buy 2 shades. No one should have to buy 2 shades in anything. Now, I do that just for reference. I do it for, I even do it to kind of see if the pigment in a deeper shade changes the texture. I do it for all sorts of reasons. I like to research makeup. Not all of us have to do that. That being said, this 𝗕𝗂𝘂𝘂 stick foundation, I didn't like this the first time I tried it. And the reason I did not like it is because at the time I did not have the right shade. I actually purchased some shades and then they also sent some shades. But I'm actually a lighter shade in this now. Wintertime roses here. But I love everything about this because it's such a nice texture. It's not too emollient. And I find the Dior to be too emollient. And what emollient means is too wet. I really do. I also don't like a dry formula either, but I like something that has a little bit more grip to it and it doesn't just blend away. I just really think that y'all will like this. It's just so good. Look at that match now. This was way too light for me back when I was outside living my life. Now I'm inside living my life. It's so natural. Look at how good that looks. It's so good. I really think that you'll like this. Of course, wear test, wore beautifully. Really, and I suggest it for all skin types. All 3 of these, I feel like with whatever skin prep works for your skin type, these will all work for you. Again, because they're not a very wet formula. Concealer. There were 2. One's in here, and one is right here, and I need a, this is kind of helping me make my little shopping list. And yes, brands would send it to me, but I feel like I've been doing this so long that and as a brand owner, I like to support. I get it. I really do. So I'm out of this one. This is the Jouer concealer. This stuff is so full coverage. I feel like this is what Tarte Shape Tape should be. But isn't. And that's okay because we have this. This is so good. Now, I have one itty bitty critique. We need more options in each range when it comes to the undertones. So Jouer, that would be wonderful. I understand as a small business, sometimes that can get spicy priced, but that's just a small critique. I love the formula. So this one's my more full coverage, and then my everyday just grab and even sometimes wear alone. What did you put in this stuff, Natasha? I've used a couple concealers in my makeup life and I've never seen anything like this. If I don't want to set this, I don't even have to. Now we have to do smaller amounts. It is a self-setting, but self-setting only works to a certain threshold. That would be a good video. We might have to do a video on that. But the color for me is perfect. The coverage is, I'd say it's light medium to medium coverage. If you really build it, you can get full. There's just nothing I don't like about it. The range is just fantastic. The undertones are even throughout it, throughout each shade sector. This one was a doozy this year. This is my favorite. Now, done with concealer. Let's put that back. I'm trying to keep everything tidy because after this I want to film like a cranberry eye. I'm trying not to be overwhelming. I mean, y'all know my favorite brushes. Now, powder. We lost a powder this year, but we gained one. So I haven't found an option for the original Givenchy formula, which I actually haven't even used this because I just don't want to. This is the original formula. So the original formula had this more leather top, and then the updated formula has a more a plastic top. So this is very sacred right now. But that being said, I'm still trying to compare, and we have options, and I've seen things and things. But I still don't want to say I found a dupe or an option for that. So we're just going to let that take a break. It's taking a break. It's taking a nap. I haven't been using pink powder quite as much. Still love it. Kind of want to do. I'm probably going to use a pink powder today. I don't want you to think that we're over that. We're not over nothing. If you're having fun, we're having fun. You do it. That being said, this has been the powder that I've been reaching for. And I think it's absolutely delightful. I think it's a very well thought out powder. And the reason I think that is I talked about it yesterday. It has a level of pigment that is nowhere near a powder foundation, but it's not a translucent powder. And it even has more pigment than most of the skin color powders that are out there. And what that does is that adds an extra layer of blur because pigments go in and they fill in any kind of gaps. Even though I don't want you to think patchy makeup, but even the most smooth, even foundation application can be boosted and smoothed out even more when you have a powder that has a little extra hint of pigment in it, because it's just going in there and adding the thinnest layer of pigment, and that just continues blur, continues evenness. It just pairs beautifully with your makeup. So again, this is nothing like the Givenchy, but it is a beautiful powder, and it's one that I absolutely fell in love with this year. And if you haven't tried it yet, this might be your sign to try it. It's a 12 out of 10 for me. Next, after that, I would move on to bronzer. You're thinking, Rose, you've barely even touched that. What are you talking about? This is my second one that I purchased. Wow. This, but you gotta like a veil. You have to be after a veil, a wash, a kiss of bronzer. It is buildable, but it's not buildable to an extreme level. It's always going to be a veil, a kiss. And that's kind of where I've been with my bronzer this year. So if you're after that, I have absolutely fallen in love with this. And you know what? I've already kind of put a dent in this one. Good Lord, this new front camera is so good. Yep, you can see that dent right there. Ooh, she's wild. Yeah, me and my C40 been going to town on this. I wear shade 2. We could do some more shades, YSL. But I do love the formula. So when it came to blush, I'm gonna have to show you 3. The first one I'm gonna start with is the Perfect Red, and it was very well thought out. Now, I did have a hand in it. Just so you know, this was more of a founder collab. I do not make any money off of this. I did not make any money off of any of the posts with this. None of that was an ad. That was founders supporting founders. But I did have a hand in creating this shade. Now, the formula I didn't, but I already fell in love with the formula. But this particular red shade, and I love the idea of a blush that friends can wear. So 𝗕𝗵𝘂𝘁 and I both can wear this shade, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I feel like a red blush is something that everybody needs in their makeup collection. By the way, I just got up because I was looking for something else, but I wanted you to see how much I've used of this, but also that a little bit goes a long way, and I haven't had to reach pan on anything yet. It is delightful. This is one of my travel bags. And for powder blush, this, I was talking about this a lot for quite a while, and then I just start to understand that this is a lot of money to pay for a blush. These are actually eye to cheek, so you can actually use these on your eyes. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of times red and pink pigments aren't technically eye safe. It doesn't mean your eye is going to fall out. It could just mean you could have a reaction to that red pigment. I'm always mindful of those things, but that all being said, this formula is unlike any other. And if you ever have a chance to touch one of these and apply one of these, I think you would kind of get the hype that I try to give these. They are like no other. The way that the pigment lays on the skin, I just love them, and I love the colors. Shade 6 is my favorite, but I can't find that right now. This is shade 4. There really hasn't been a highlighter that I've been wearing. So I think we're just gonna move to lipsticks, and it's been a Kiko year. 𝗕𝗏𝘂𝘁𝘆 So in Europe, 𝗕𝗏𝘁𝘆 is just, it's as big as MAC. Okay, their stores mirror each other and like across the street from each other. But here in the US, everyone's like, what is that? Now I love all of their reds, but this particular shade has been my ride or die. I'm on number 3. This is my 3rd one of this. And that's over a year and a half. So it's not like you're gonna run out of it. I cannot get over the formula. They absolutely do not move. And I also wear this with shade 505 Gingerbread. That's my favorite lip liner, and I don't want to confuse you. Oh wait, 505 and then Rosewood, but I'll do a separate slide. Everything's gonna be labeled. But the Unlimited Double Touch has some of the prettiest shades, and there's just so many of them. And the wear time is just wild. They're delightful. And if you have not tried one yet, please do. Let me touch on my favorite Kiko lip liners. These two right here, Rosewood, Gingerbread. I'm gonna swatch them. So this is here. What are we doing? Hand swatches? What is this? That is Rosewood. It is very similar to Makeup Forever Wherever Walnut, but it lasts just as long and is way more affordable. And then Gingerbread, and it's such a nice cool tone. Oh, it's so good. So these two are my absolute faves. That's the name of them right there. I had the name wrong. So the other one, not ginger. I had Gingerbread right, but it's rosy brown. But that's why I go check things. I'm out of control. Gingerbread is sold out on their website. I blame you. And one more lipstick. I cannot dupe this shade quite yet. Ben actually got this for me, and I haven't had it that long, but I've been wearing it nonstop, and I just love the color so much. It is from Tom Ford. Look how much I've already worn. I love this color. It's such a unique color, and it's just something that I wouldn't have picked up. I'm blotting off excess lip treatment. I'm just gonna put this on right now. Nothing on my face, and I still love this color. I love it so much, so much. I did see it was on sale, still super spicy price, but let me go see if I can find that link, because I think it was Bloomingdale's that had it on sale. Just an honorable mention to Elemis Cleansing Balm. I can't exist without that. I know cleansing balms are very personal. Nothing takes my makeup off like that. And then I'll do a little emulsifying, and that's where you add water, really get in there, cleanse it off, then I rinse my face, then I use a makeup eraser. So honorable mention to makeup eraser. Cannot live my life with either one of those because I love waterproof things. I have no issues with waterproof when I use those two things. So Those are still my absolute makeup takeoff jams. This has replaced all of my sprays. I feel that the way that it dries down, it's not a sealant, so don't think of it as the one size, which I love the one size, but it's not going to be mentioned because I do not use a sealant every single day. I find that every day they can be a little bit too harsh, and that's something that I've always told all of you, and that's definitely personal. High levels of alcohol and what makes a sealant can sometimes be a little too drying, but I don't want you to let me steer you away. If it's working for you, it's working for you. But that being said, this right here, the way that I can melt things with this spray, the way that it doesn't mess with how my makeup wears, it is just delightful. And I'm on bottle number 3 just this year alone. I love it. It's calming. I'm gonna spray some right now. I love that you can do it before, during, after, whenever. I just love it so much. It's divine, and that's in the name. Now I think that's it. If I forget anything, I'll try to remember, but if I forgot it, then it wasn't meant to be. And these are just things that I use the most. I mean, you've seen me use things all the time, yes. There's pink correctors, all of that good stuff, but those are the ones that are just near and dear to my heart. Things that I use to correct things. Even though you might not see me use the red blush every day, I'm using that red blush to correct things and fix things and just do all sorts of things. So those are my workhorses and things that I cannot live makeup life without. Definitely going to save this to my highlights for sure. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Make sure that you screenshot. Actually, and then let me know if you do get anything. I'm curious. I like to look at the shopping hauls. I hardly ever show my shopping hauls just because it's not my thing here, but I want to see yours. All right, I love y'all so much. I'm actually going to pre-record a tutorial for tomorrow, and I'm going to do a look with this. But it might just be the eye look because I have to film a couple of the other things for a brand. So I really want to just use this. I'm really excited to do an eye look with this. But that being said, I am going to be taking a couple personal days off next week. I feel like y'all are my boss. I have to request time off. I really do have to request time off because I get a lot of DMs. They're like, where are you at? Why aren't you doing a tutorial? You never do tutorials anymore. And then I feel like those DMs, I think IG hides a lot of the stories because it thinks that these long stories that I do are spam. It makes perfect sense, but I continue to do them. But I am going to take a couple days off next week because it's a holiday for us next week. So I will keep you updated, but I'm looking forward to a few days of absolute quiet. I'm going to put my phone away most of the time and just absolute peace and quiet with Ben and my mom, and my mother lives with us. I have a lot of new supporters. Most of you know that. She lives with Ben and I, and we're just going to take some time and just reflect on the year and have a really peaceful holiday. If I could just request a couple days off from y'all, that would be great. I'm putting in my request right now. I know I'm a little late on my request. I love y'all so much. This has been the busiest year of my life. I have never traveled this much. I have never done this many things. And I just want to thank all of you for not only being here, but for also just being here in my absence when I'm not able to be here every single day. I strive to be here every single day for all of you because I feel that this is not a chore. Doing these stories is absolutely not a chore to me. It is incredible that I have so many friends that look forward to the same thing I look forward to. So I am so grateful for all of you, and I love you all so much. And thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting Rose and Ben Beauty. I love you with all of my heart, every single one of you. And I'll be back later in the week next week. It's not like I'm going to be gone, but I'll be back probably the 27th. So again, you'll still have a tutorial tomorrow. The weekends I normally don't do tutorials anyways, so you're just missing a couple days. But I love you with all of my heart, and I will see you next week. Well, technically tomorrow, but it'll be recorded. But I love you with all my heart. And well, I will see you in the comments because I'll post tonight.